What's up everybody, Christian James here. Today's video. Here's the video I'm reviewing. I'm not saying that title. Let's go. What's wrong with this damn world?
Beauty and the Beast takes on a whole new meaning when it comes to a violent trans activist, Jessica Serenity Simpson, better known as Jonathan Yaniv, has filed a human rights complaint in Ontario against a family-run beauty pageant that is Canada Galaxy Pageants. Should a male with male genitalia be able to trans-identify themselves into such a space? And today you'll hear from the pageant's counsel, Alison Payovich, whose services are covered by the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom thanks to crowdfunding donations. You'll hear her explain whether or not this case should be heard. On the one hand, it's important for us to get a ruling on such an important decision. On the other hand,
Important decision. Important decision. What the fuck is wrong with the world?
why is the tribunal even considering this case, considering Yaniv Simpson has had so many delays? And you'll hear that one of the excuses Simpson has done for those delays is to bring up my reporting. Let's take a listen.
The pageant received an application from Jessica Yaniv at the time, now known as Jessica Simpson.
Really? This person's just gaming the system for everything it's worth. It's such a ridiculous system that you let them... they can do whatever they want, but I can't say whatever I want. That makes sense.
Wanting to be a contestant in the beauty pageant, and Jessica was admitted at first until emailing the director saying, I'm transgender, is that going to be a problem? And this is a women's beauty pageant. The director basically responded at the time saying, oh, we don't permit transgender contestants. That was in mid-2019, but then their parent organization changed the policy to allow transgender women who have gone through the transition surgery, post-operative trans women.
Go ahead, look at the ugly dude on the screen. You think that beast has a chance of winning a beauty pageant? This is so absurd. Make him change in the fucking broom closet.
Were allowed. So Yaniv was contacted and advised, if you've had the surgery, you can compete. Have you had the surgery? And at that point, I'm going to call Jessica, I should say Simpson. Simpson said, that's something along the lines of, and I'm not quoting directly, that's none of your business or something like that.
Because you're just a freak, bro. You're just a freak trying to get in the lady spaces because the ladies don't like you because you're ugly and fat and you're a fucking weirdo. But you found a way to game the system. When I was a kid, they had movies called Revenge of the Nerds, and the nerds would put little holes in the fucking space for the locker room so you could see the girls naked because that was the only way weirdos could do it back then. Well, now they've stepped it up to a whole new level of fucking weirdo.
And was unhappy with being asked the question. And at that point, filed a human rights complaint against Canada Galaxy Pageants for hurt feelings, is asking for $10,000, and also was asking for a public interest remedy that the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal should permit and should make a ruling that all trans women, regardless of whether they've had the surgery, should be.
All ugly dudes in dresses should be able to compete with women. Look, start a ugly dude beauty pageant. An ugly dude ugly pageant. You're the prettiest of the uglies. You're the most handsome. This is absurd. Why the fuck does it matter to you? Get a hobby, get a friend, get a fucking life. But this is what people... You live 100 years, you fat pile of garbage. This is what you choose to do with your term. Looking like a turquoise jackass.
Beauty pageants. So we were waiting for 5 years for the tribunal in Ontario to make a move on this file. It sat dormant for 5 years, and that's why we haven't done any reporting on it. And then in January of this year, we heard from them and they wanted to move on it finally.
5 years. Why does it matter after 5 years? Half a decade. The whole time of COVID. Trump was president, not president, president again. Give me a fucking break.
And it came the stage where now it's time to get your case ready. So they required both sides to file case summary and provide witness lists and witness statements. We had to do that by middle of February of this year. So we spent a great deal of time and effort putting together a comprehensive case summary, which involved the legal arguments that we're making.
Can you imagine you go to law school, you got 100 grand, 200 grand in debt, whatever it is, Canada, America, whatever the hell, there's a big difference, the UK, whatever. And then you spend your time making this argument that why women should only be allowed in women-only pageants. Ugh.
And we incorporated our witness statements. We had 6 parents who basically are going to say at a hearing from their witness statement that they have had children compete in the past. The youngest child can be 6 years old. Their little girls competed, and there was no way they would have their children, their little girls, compete in a space with a transgender.
Okay, so it's not even a beauty pageant. It's a little girl's beauty pageant, and this freak of a beast wants to compete with little girls to be. You're not like a. You're not a. You're not a child playing pretend. You're a grown-up playing weird pretend with children. The things I want to say end up with the OPP or the RCMP at my front door. Ugh.
Woman who still had male genitals, and at that time, Jessica Yaniv, to our understanding, had male genitals at that time. And so our argument has always been, in all of our legal arguments and publicly, that little girls should not be exposed to male genitals. This is a beauty pageant.
What the hell do genitals have to do with a beauty pageant? Is it a genital pageant? No, excuse me. You know, I make these videos to cover them because sometimes they're lighthearted, and then I come across a video like this. I have a daughter. Thank God she's turning 19 this year. I don't know what I would do if my daughter had to grow up and be 6 years old in 2025, 7 years old, whatever these little girls are. Man, you're some punk-ass parents. You're afraid to get called out. Who cares if they call you a transphobe? Look, a phobia is an irrational fear. Nobody's afraid of dudes in dresses. Nobody.
The facts are that when the contestants go backstage, they are in a state of undress. They're going between different competitions. There is a swimsuit competition. Little girls can see a nude individual, and if that's a male, that shouldn't be happening. So anyway, we had all of these witness statements before the tribunal. We had our case summary done, and Jessica Simpson never filed the required documents, has been given a couple of chances, a couple of extensions to do so, and we didn't hear anything from the tribunal for a few months. So we wrote to them twice saying, are you going to dismiss this? It doesn't look like the complainant is interested in this case anymore. And they gave Jessica Simpson one final
5 years wasn't enough time. No, you have to give this lunatic more time to waste people's time. So you hire this expensive-ass lawyer, and look, she should be paid well for having to do this bullshit job. Give me a break. What's wrong with the fucking world? Look, they hung witches, or they threw them in ponds, and if they floated up and they lived, they were witches. If they didn't, oops, we made a mistake. Can't we just take the same thing with fucking weirdos? I got rocks. Who's got rocks? Fill their pockets. Let's go.
extension. I think it's the final extension, but I'm not sure. An extra 3 days to submit witness statements and a case summary, the proper one. And Jessica Simpson never responded. One of the reasons that Jessica Simpson used to justify the delay in providing the tribunal and providing us with a case summary and witness lists and witness statements was that Drea Humphrey has been harassing me by talking about this case on her show or something along those lines. And I'm not going to provide one more thing until the tribunal deals with that. And subsequent to that complaint from Jessica Simpson, the tribunal didn't say anything about your news reporting and kept telling Jessica Simpson, you only have, X number of days to get your stuff in or we may dismiss your case. So we've asked the tribunal, we've asked, again, can you dismiss this? Because this is a waste of time and effort and it's weighing on our client's head. It's been outstanding for 5 years.
It's crazy.